Welcome to another webinar by GRIP. We're excited to have with us today the founding team and the CEO of VCare. I'll just request both of them to turn on their video and confirm that they can hear me.
Hi.
Hi, perfect.
Yeah, good afternoon, Nikhil. Good afternoon, all.
Thank you so much, Ms. Reddy, and thank you so much, Mukundan, for your time. It isn't easy always to take out time on a Saturday afternoon, despite your busy schedules. And we appreciate the opportunity to hear directly from you, especially given that there's a recent transaction that's available for our investors to participate with respect to your business.
Right.
As we go through the session, we'd love to hear from you more about the business. But let me begin by just spending a few minutes introducing you and then talking about why we're doing this webinar today.
Right.
VCare actually, from a GRIPS perspective, is not a new name. A lot of our users are familiar with your company. We've been working together for almost 2 years now, and very proud to be associated with leasing assets and creating investment opportunities for our users. Miss Reddy is one of the most renowned trichologists in the country. Ma'am, incredible to see your journey, your recognition as one of the leading entrepreneurs in the country and one of the first trichologists in the country, and the brand that now you have established across with the size and scale of business. Mr. Mukundan has been part of VCare's journey for almost the entire lifespan, but having also previously been associated with other companies in the broader healthcare space. We are here today because this is a company that a lot of our users are participating in, but most importantly, we've recently created a new investment opportunity for leasing assets to VCare and support their ongoing growth. This opportunity is live on our platform under LeaseX as a product, and we'd like to hear more about the business so that all of you can be better informed to make that investment decision. Okay, welcome again, sir and ma'am. Ma'am, if I can go to you and just begin with what inspired you to even set up VCare in the first place. Obviously, as a trichologist, India as a country, and I can vouch for it, requires a lot of good hair care and skincare services. There have been brands, multi-billion-dollar brands built in this space, but you came up and set up VCare. If you could just dial back to that start of the journey and what was the inspiration for it?
Hi, I'm Prabha Reddy. Actually, I started my career as a teacher. After that, I studied this course, and I did my course in Sydney, Australia. So the certified trichology course. After that, after the course, only 2004, I incorporated the company name of Prabha's VK Health Clinic Private Limited, because I was entering that business. That time, everybody's giving hair treatment, skin treatment together only, but nobody's there for monopoly. Only for hair treatments, nobody's there. So why don't we take it as a specialized clinic? So we thought that. Then we started the trichology hair clinic, because trichology, that word, nobody understands that word. What is that psychology? They will ask immediately. I said, no, trichology. Tricho means hair, that the study of scalp and hair, that I have to explain. So trichology within bracket hair, I put it because people can understand. So now we are having 50 hair clinics and 50 skin clinics, and we are going to open end of the September, another 10 more clinics also. So that is the journey actually.
No, thank you for that. And Mukundan, if I can come to you to just give an explanation of, like ma'am said, trichology is not a word that is common. For someone who's listening to this call and maybe hearing about trichology for the first time, or hearing about such kind of healthcare for the first time, could you please explain what the nature of business is and what is the services that VCare provides to its patients?
Right. Even as ma'am said, when I first got an opportunity to interact with ma'am in 2004, even I asked the same question: is it trichology or psychology? What is this? So actually, I was a core chemical engineering professional, way into the cosmetic and personal care sector. After a decent stint with Kevin Care and TTK LIG, the manufacturer of Durex condoms, I got an opportunity to meet ma'am. And of course, this was the same question I asked: what is trichology? So I think my stint with VCare began from then. I started developing formulations for the company, and almost 2 years I was a consultant to VCare, and then in 2006 I took over as a full-time CEO in VCare. So by then, I'm speaking sometime about 2006. There were two ends as far as a solution for a hair problem is concerned. One is the regular usage of products like hair oil, shampoos, and other things. It may be a temporary hair fall, it may be baldness or anything. People always resorted to a usage of a hair oil or a shampoo. That was a scenario prevailing. And on the other end, it was a very high end availability, a hair transplant. Um, Even hair transplant was not so familiar by then. Then we found that a non-surgical form of hair treatment, based on the sound principles of anatomy and physiology of hair and skin, and of course on the entire human anatomy and physiology, will definitely give us a lot of inroads into the segment. So this is where it began. Uh, Earlier, I mean, in 2006-7, we started developing treatments based on the basic available raw materials, like maybe an aroma oil or a herbal extract or whatever base material. By then, even the personal care industry or the cosmetic industry in India was a very small and a very, you can say, it was in its preliminary stages. We started by then. So we started giving both clinical treatments. That is, the client should come to the clinic and avail the treatment. And we also started giving home care treatments. We give the products in the form of kits, which they can use on a regular basis to avail the treatment. This is how we started way back in 2004. And slowly over the period of years, we have grown on both the fronts. On one side, we expanded geographically, we increased the number of branches. And again, from core hair, we took a brand extension into skin. This was the level of growth happening on one side. And on the second side, we have been very keen on updating ourselves with the latest technology available in the segment, not only on the treatment front, but also on the diagnostic sector. So, right from the day one, we gave a lot of importance for both the treatments as well as the diagnosis. And even we were very keen that wherever required, we should do all the backward and forward integration which is required to grow the business in future. So that made us start a small factory in Pondicherry, even in 2008. Actually, we established the factory in the name of We Care Farcos. We acquired the drug license. It started as a small 5,000 square feet facility. Now it's a 22,500 square feet facility. It has grown over the years. And all these things, the emphasis what we gave on the technology, on the manufacturing, and more specifically on the diagnosis, made us grow as a larger brand. And that made us stand very stronger as a non-surgical service provider. Even today, we almost hold a monopoly in that segment. There are no other bigger player providing a non-surgical form of hair loss treatment. Uh, and we have always been the first in introducing any new technology as far as hair and skin is concerned, and more specifically with hair. For example, we were the first to bring in the concept of PRP for hair treatment into the country. uh, it was in 2011, myself and ma'am, we attended a conference in Kuala Lumpur. We came across this technique. When we reached back India, we were hardly able to find suppliers who supply a PRP kit. But with great difficulty, we identified a company selling these kits. But even those people, they were not aware that the kits can be used for hair and skin treatments. They were supplying that for orthopedic treatments. But then we gave them all the literature review on clinical studies, and we started buying kits from them. And I remember I used to buy a kit for 28,000 rupees by then, which is around 3,500 to 4,000 rupees today.
Wow.
So that's how in 2012 we added PRP. And even in 2011 itself, we tied up with the global transplant leader, DHI, and we started providing transplant services in our clinic. We were
Mukundan,
associated.
Mr. Mukundan, if I interrupt you for a minute. I want to spend more time on the services, but just for the benefit of people listening in,
Yeah,
could you help us give us a sense of the scale of operations today in terms of where all you're present, number of outlets? As you
right.
mentioned, it's both clinical care and home care, and
Hmm.
maybe a sense of how many customers do you serve on a monthly or an annual basis?
Right. So we started with a single branch in Chennai in 2004, and by the end of 2008, we had 12 branches. And after that, we took a small gap to consolidate the business, and then we again restarted our expansion in 2012. Uh, by 2018, we were present in 17 locations. Uh, Up to that stage, the expansion was going on in the level of one or two clinics per year, and this is how we have grown. But in 2019, we took a major decision. We thought that we are already making a big spend on the media for the lead generation and the branding purpose. We need to fully make use of this, and we decided to start 15 branches. We inaugurated them on the same day, the fag end of September 2019. That took our numbers to around 32. And after that, of course, before we could realize the benefits of that, COVID intercepted. There was a gap by then, and again we started the spree in 2022. In 2000, in the financial year 2022-23, we established almost 16 branches. And this financial year, the plans have started, and by September end, we are planning for another 10 branches, which will take the numbers to 60. There will be 60 locations, where every location will have a hair and skin clinic. So this is how, in terms of the numbers, we have grown. 2004, we started as a 78 lakh brand, and financial year 2023, we have completed at 254 crores. So that's the growth what we have made as far as the numbers are concerned. And when you take the number of clients whom we are treating almost around 10,000 new clients every month, spread across these 50 locations. So
Understood.
around 70% of the revenue will be generated from hair segment, and another 30% from the skin segment.
Understood. Um, Coming back to the services, right? Now that you offer both hair and skin care, maybe two parts to the question. One is, what is there seems to be a large focus on R&D and coming up with new products.
Yeah.
How do you think about that? And second is, how do you see differentiation versus other brands that may be available in the market for claiming to at least being doing hair care or skin care, both home
Right.
wise as well as clinical? Where does that differentiation lies? And when you say that you have the largest or you're the largest player, what has enabled that from a competition point of view?
Right. Right from the day one, we have been emphasizing more on the products, usage of products, and where it started with using the basic actives like an aroma oil or a herbal extract, and over the period we have grown. 2012, we introduced the concept of peptides and recombinant growth factors and plant stem cells for the treatment, and the introduction of new cosmeceuticals in the products. And even very recently, we have introduced the usage of nano actives. We are using nano silver, nano zinc, and nano sulfur. And we have always been on par with the latest available actives and ingredients. For example, even now my R&D team is working on human stem cell conditioned media and fermentilizates. These are two new entries into the segment. So we have made a combination. We have developed a treatment which is a combination of equipments and products. It is not specifically confined to one sector. It's a you can say a combination which works out, which gives the results. And these combinations are made based on sound anatomy and physiological principles. It is all like when we work on a particular disorder. First, we list out all the reasons which are responsible for that, and ensure that my machines and the products as a combination gives the optimized results for this issue. So this is how we have been developing this treatment. And one thing is, I would say, which has contributed a lot to this is our entry into the functional cosmetic segment way back in 2009-10. So till 2009-10, the cosmetic industry was purely a personal care segment, where very basic raw materials were used to manufacture a shampoo or a cream or a lotion or something of that sort, which is mostly a personal care in nature. In 2009-10, the global companies, the global ingredient manufacturers started coming into the Indian market. Initially, it was started by a company called Croda from US, followed by a lot of other people who tried to sell the active cosmeceuticals, the patented cosmeceuticals at much higher rate. For example, I've been in the cosmetic industry almost from 1999, and till the 2008-9, we used to see ingredients which cost around 1,500 rupees, 2,000 rupees, or maximum 2,500 rupees. So by 2009-10, when these foreign manufacturers entered into the segment, ingredients, much powerful ingredients were available at a cost range of around 23,000, 25,000, 30,000. Where the major players in the cosmetic industry, the personal care sector, never ventured to touch or try these actives. So we never shied away from using those ingredients. We started using actives from the Croda, especially in the price range of 25,000, 30,000, and they were really result oriented. And the second advantage what we had is we were a clinic. So pricing the product slightly higher was also not a big problem for us, wherein that was not possible in the FMCG or the retail market sector. So we took that advantage. Started using fully the active cosmeceuticals. We started developing high-end result-oriented products, and we combined that along with the adequate machineries, maybe machines like a laser or a or a ozone or a photobiostimulator. Today we are using a lot of equipments. So this effective combination of functional cosmetics along with the machines opened up a new area of non-surgical hair treatments. Of course, this non-surgical is limited to a particular level of hair loss. We cannot say that it works for all stages, but for that segment, we were effectively using this. And any client you take today, his first preference will be a non-surgical option rather than a minimally invasive or an invasive procedure. So that was helpful to us. We were able to take a big advantage of that. We got good results. Those results were used to further encourage the clients to join the treatment, and this is how the business grew. We have also not at any point of time shy to make a bigger spend on generating these leads. We were promotional intensive, and we were present across all the territories. It may be a satellite media promotion or a print media promotion or you say digital media promotion. We've always never shied to invest on that.
If you don't mind, maybe what you said right now as an answer made me think about getting your thoughts on the upcoming D2C space. Last few years, D2C brands, predominantly online brands, have gotten a lot of attention. They've also seen fairly strong growth in volumes, but
Yeah.
the degree of focus on R&D research, the ingredients, the machines, I was very curious to understand whether you feel that a lot of that is getting replicated in the new D2C brands, or do you see a different business model playing out?
See, almost after I would say 10 to 12 years, or I would say 10 years, slowly there is an entry into this segment. People have started the ingredients like a minoxidil or anything that was holding the market over the years. But I mean, which was also available at a much cheaper price. But the usage of ingredients like Procapil, what we have done, I mean, a non-drug segment, we started using them from 2008-9, and now I am able to see those ingredients entering into the so-called D2C segment. And there are two other things. One is this combination of the equipments and the products together gives these results. And the third thing is a very detailed consultation and diagnosis is required for an effective treatment. So a D2C player selling the products online cannot definitely or effectively replace these clinical treatments.
Understood.
Maybe to a very small extent for a temporary form of hair loss, some of these kits will work out.
Got it. Now that's very interesting. So because a lot of people on this call will be familiar with D2C brands and would have seen some of that marketing. But when they come, even though this is an aesthetic healthcare, right? This is about aesthetics,
Yeah,
and is non-invasive, non-surgical. The way someone should look at this business is it's a combination of high quality ingredients, agents that make the treatment powerful, combined with specialized advice and a physical treatment center, which is obviously not possible when you're buying something online and using it at home.
100%.
Understood. Okay. Does this also, do you feel, have an impact on margins? You mentioned, you can do higher pricing. And does it have an impact on loyalty?
Definitely. See, but that's what we have done. Even a few other players, when they tried to enter into this segment, they were always dependent on the other manufacturing companies for their products. So we had our own manufacturing facility, which considerably reduced our cost of goods, and we had an added advantage because of that. And definitely, since we hold a monopoly in the segment, price has never been a constraint for us. So that is one good reason we have always been able to keep our EBITDA on a decent level. And the other major part here is like you need to grow with the industry. For example, though I am present, my specialty is a non-surgical segment, where around 55-60% of my revenue comes from that. I still get a decent or a good revenue from the minimally invasive and the invasive procedures as well. So we do
Understood.
PRP. We were the pioneers. We were the first to introduce PRP, and of course, after that, lot of people claiming to do the same PRP at 2,000 rupees, 3,000 rupees. They are available in the market, but we don't compete with them or any of that sort. And even that PRP, what we have done is we have developed a home care kit which has to be followed after a PRP. This combination of PRP plus that home care is giving phenomenally good results, which my competitors or the other players in the industry are not able to do till this moment. And even for a transplant, we have developed similar products which have to be used after a transplant, which enhances the results by another 30-35%. So any
Understood.
treatment, it may be a non-invasive or a minimally invasive or invasive, we always keep us stand separate compared to the other players.
Understood.
And
Yeah.
we are able to do the same thing in the skin, but skin there are a lot other players, a lot of people in the market, but still we are able to do a good business. Of course, we cannot claim that we are the market leaders in that segment, but as far as hair is concerned, we are almost the pioneers and the bigger player in the industry.
Understood. Ms. Reddy, maybe if I can come to you, and would love to get your thoughts on the industry itself and how you have seen the industry evolve from a size, growth, even the mindset of a customer to say, hey, this is something that I really want to invest money in. I want to improve aesthetically. How have you seen that evolve since you started the business?
Before that, when I was starting that time, per month itself, 500, 600 clients.
Okay.
But today, per day, actually 350, 400 clients, only new clients. Not regular.
Wow.
I'm taking count of, not taking count of regular clients. So that much. Even nowadays, the people are facing dandruff, hair fall problem more because their the habit is stressful lifestyle and food habits that and all create a lot of impact on hair. So because of that, people they need a lot of hair treatments. So when they will feel no, immediately they will think they will actually use lot of products, oils, some serums and all. After that only they will come to VCare. So VCare providing all kind of treatments, even alopecia areata and genetic alopecia, baldness, everything, every trichotillomania. So these kind of problems and we are dealing successfully. We are dealing these problems and we have created a lot of before after photos also. So people will trust on that immediately. They are coming to the clinic and they are taking the treatments.
Understood. And there are several celebrities of note who have also taken treatments from you. Mukundan sir mentioned that do a lot of advertising. Just very curious to understand, is there also a lot of drive from referrals, and how do people necessarily sort of come to VCare? Is it mostly offline, online marketing, and how much do you end up investing in that?
From call center, if say for example, Saturday, Sundays. Today, Saturday means we are expecting nearly 450, 500 clients. But in that, 30, 40 clients are referral.
Understood. Okay, got it. So a
Yeah,
lot of
around,
it is driven. Please.
sorry
Go
for
ahead.
intervention. Around 12 to 15% clients are referral clients. The current trend, a major chunk comes from the digital promotions and a reasonably lesser amount from the media, television media promotions. This is a
Got it.
mix up of the clients who visit the center. So it is like, the process is fixed. You treat a client, you create a result, show that result, promote the concept. This is how we have grown over the years, and we have fixed a standard protocol methodology for that. And one more thing is, we have never much believed. Sorry, I mean the thought could be different for people. We have never much believed on outsourcing. So most of our requirements we are able to cater by ourselves. So, for example, even we started with an outsourced option for digital marketing, but today we have our own in-house digital team. And even for the programs what we shoot, we have our internal team of cameramen, editors, and other things. Even as I said, manufacturing we take care, research and development we have taken care, and we have even gone to the extent of developing the functional cosmetics which provide results. So the
Understood.
backward integration is going to that level. We have successfully created 2 3 actives which are again used by us, and we are expanding in that segment. So all these things together as a combination has worked out for us, and this is the reason for our growth. Now, I mean, a blueprint is ready for us, like how, even when I'm entering into a new territory, how I should generate my leads, what should be the contribution from digital media, what should be the contribution from satellite media, how I can generate walk-ins from the other sources, and how my call center should work, how my leads should come in, how I have to divert them to the clients, how I have to convert them, how I have to retain them. So there is a standard blueprint which I have to replicate in each and every territory. So very recently we have envisioned and we have started working on the international market also. So maybe very soon, within 2 months, we'll have a clinic opened in Dubai,
Oh, fantastic. Got it.
and we have started some offline. I mean, the other way, online business in Mauritius and Sri Lanka.
Understood.
So the consultation will be done from here. We have made some arrangement for diagnosis there. Uh, Then once the type of problem is fixed, a particular kit is recommended. The distributor there will supply that kit to the client. So this is a small venture we have started. As you said, it's a mix up of a D2C and what is a conventional operation. Sri Lanka, we have worked for a decent time. We have got very good results. So now we have started moving to Mauritius. So this option will also continue in places where a clinic in reality will not be a possibility. We'll go through this semi D2C segment.
Mr. Mukhandan, as you think about international, as you think about expansion plans,
Yeah.
do you see a restriction for maybe entering certain markets in India because of existing players? For example, there are brands like Kaya, Richfield. These are the ones that come to mind immediately. They may be offering slightly different services, but again, they're predominantly about healthcare and skincare.
Yeah.
Is market entry a challenge?
See, as far as hair is concerned, I would say that there are no much. I mean, maybe
Competition, yeah.
as you said, Richfield might be there, or Dr. Batras is there, but Richfield is present to a very small extent. They have been a market leader a long time back, but today not doing much well. And even Dr. Batras depends on homeopathic treatments and small individual equipment treatments. Otherwise, they don't have a full-fledged treatments based on advanced equipments and products.
Actually, they are concentrating all kind of problems, but VCare is concentrating only hair and skin. So
Understood.
especially hair is our priority.
Yes,
Understood.
on the minimally invasive and invasive segments, we might face a little tough situation, but our communication, a very clear communication on the difference between the PRP what we deliver and the PRP delivered by other people, and similarly with transplant, will definitely fix those problems. I don't see the presence of the other players uh, as a strong restriction to my market expansion plans.
Understood. Maybe I'd like to step into some questions around the financials, and then we can also go to questions that have come on the chat group. But
Right.
you know, first of all, is it fair to say that the patient, whoever signs up with you, is
Hmm.
there for a considerable period of time? Is the treatment 3 to 6 months or longer?
See, the most of the treatments are for a period of 3 months, and after that, we expect them to use the products, home care products, and the supplements for at least another 2 3 months. And after that, for the regular care, they might buy some home care products. So our expectation is we want to hold the client at least for a period of 12 to 14 months. But the current scenario is at least they are with us for 8 9 months. So we are working on increasing that period, which is beneficial for both of us. The client will also have a very good result, and see, many of them even they join us for an upgrade, or they prefer for another treatment. A client coming for hair will shift to skin. A lot of that also happens.
Understood. You've had at least the last 2 consecutive years of incredible growth in revenue and very strong margins.
Mm.
Um, one of the reasons obviously has been the expansion in number of stores, but would
Yes.
you attribute any other reason to nearly a 50% growth in revenue?
See, even some new treatment techniques we have introduced, but largely I would say that the expansion in terms of the number of clinics has largely contributed. And the other
Understood.
most important factor is we are very, very keen, we're very, very careful in saying that the new clinics doesn't cannibalize my existing business. So we have been very, very careful in selecting the locations. Even there may be an apparent small drop in a particular area, which we try to, or which we compensate, taking our promotions to the next level of towns and cities in and around. So that has really worked well for us. The market, I mean, there is a huge depth available. Your proper media planning and other things will help you to penetrate into deeper markets and fetch business. So
And so, how much time does it normally take for a new store to break even?
around 4 to 5 months.
Okay, that's a fairly healthy. And what would be the capex per store?
As of now, I mean, it has increased a little after the COVID, fast increase. It is roughly around 1.1 to 1.2 crores per store.
Understood. Okay, got it. The reason I asked this is, and I would love to hear this from you rather than me telling it, is the leasing that we're doing is largely for equipments that go into the store.
Yeah.
And maybe, one of the things that would be useful is, as we talk about this new investment opportunity, is what are the kind of instruments that are actually being leased and that go into the store? Would love to hear from you.
Right, on the diagnostic front, we used to have the tricoscan equipments. That is a reason that comes to around 5.5 lakh something around. And very recently, we have also got, that's not for every store. We have recently invested on an ICP-MS machine. We already have this machine for a test called as hair mineral analysis, wherein I mean, we for the first time we started using it from 2011. The machine is almost 12 years, did a very big job, and now we are adding up one more machine. That was around 1.4 crores. Other than that, equipments like laser, which is used for hair removal, laser, which is used for a skin toning, and a laser, which is used for hair growth, ozone therapy machines, and we have infrared machines. It's a set of around some 13 14 equipments. We have a specialized custom developed machine called as Folitreat. We have a custom developed machine called PBS. So, in fact, we have asked the manufacturer, we designed the machine, we get it manufactured from a machinery manufacturer.
Yeah.
So,
So for
largely,
Yeah, so for users listening in, I think it's important. This is important to note that the money that you invest goes into leasing these kinds of equipments to VCare, which
yeah,
are there put in these stores. And true to our principle, each one of these machines is a revenue generating asset for the
yes,
company, allowing it to break even in about 4 to 5 months on a new store.
right.
So you've been profitable now for the last few years, and incredibly cash positive to be
Hmm.
able to also comfortably pay your debt. As you look at a mix of your future expansion plans, both in terms of physical presence, services,
Hmm.
how do you see profitability or margins change?
See, there would be an apparent, a very small to an extent of 1.5%, maybe when I'm entering into a new territory. where I would be required to spend more on the satellite media as well as digital to consolidate my presence. But after that, it will be see, that's one reason. Earlier, we used to do like we used to start one branch, two branch in an area, even a new territory, where our advertisement spend used to eat up the profits. But now, even Karnataka, rest of Karnataka, we are expanding. We already have 6 branches in Bangalore. But now, when we are making the expansion, we are opening in 5 locations in Karnataka. So whatever spend I do on the media, satellite media, giving a bigger bang in the initial, that will be amortized among these 5 clinics. So I don't feel there will be a big challenge or a big drop in my profit levels when I enter in. And we're very conservative, and we are what do you say? We have our plans clear as and when we enter into newer markets. My initial plan would be to focus on the non-Hindi speaking markets for the time being, and then penetrate into the Hindi speaking belt, where my cost of promotion will be considerably higher. So even after completing Karnataka, our next plan is to enter into Orissa and Goa and the rest of Mumbai in Maharashtra. This is how we have planned. We have our plans clear for the next 3-4 years. We will be reaching around a tune of 120 clinics in a period of 4 to 5 years. So it's only a calculated approach. Maybe the numbers to an extent of 1% might drop down, but will bounce back after a period of 3-4 months whenever I enter into a new territory. Other than that, it doesn't create a bigger impact.
Understood. Maybe a final question for Ms. Reddy, and then we'll go to the Q&A.
Yeah.
But Ms. Reddy, as you think about your from your original vision to where the next decade is for WeCare, would love to hear in your words how you're thinking about growing the company.
We want to present our brand pan-India. And not only in India, even that's what we initiated last week. Also, we had been in Dubai also. We're going to start one clinic. Even WeCare is soon, very, very soon going to be a MNC company.
That's always a fantastic milestone, and congratulations on
Thank you.
Getting there. Fantastic. I will just, there are a couple of questions that have come on the chat group, which I'll answer, and would encourage, if there are any other questions, please definitely put it there. We'll pick it up. These 2 questions currently are related to the transaction itself. So maybe we'll spend 2 minutes there. Till today, GRIP users have leased close to 10 crore rupees of equipment to WeCare. This current transaction is a total transaction size of 5 crore rupees, taking the total to 15 crores. Over the history of that period, we've actually seen no delays, no defaults in payments from WeCare, and we've had a very strong relationship, encouraging us to go ahead with further transactions and investment opportunities. This is the first transaction with WeCare under our LeaseX product, or the SDI product, which is also making it a rated and listed instrument. The first question, Pankaj, from your side is regarding the Vriksh rating. Vriksh is actually a GRIP controlled company. It is purely acting as an intermediary to facilitate this transaction. As an investor, you have no risk or liabilities or exposure to Vriksh. It is simply there to structure the transaction and enable this securitization to happen. In a technical parlance, Vriksh, or the structure, is a bankruptcy remote structure. Even if Vriksh was to become bankrupt, it does not impact your returns. And hence, the only rating that you should keep in mind is that of the instrument, which is this SDI instrument, which is currently BB+. Yeah. Okay. Rishabh, to your question, does the asset comprise security measures like by cash collateral? Yes. So absolutely, all the assets that are being part of the transaction are securitized to the trust. As you've heard, these are our assets, which include predominantly medical equipment and are revenue generating assets. This is a transaction which is also for 24 months. It's actually the shortest LeaseX transaction we've been able to do, because our typical tenures have been with 24 months. Yeah. Okay, lots of questions on the transaction, so I'll keep picking them up. Dhruv, the original assets are owned by Vriksh and leased to WeCare. That's always been our model. So the assets are owned by this intermediary company and then deployed at a WeCare center. However, as a security measure, all of these assets, 100% of these assets, are hypothecated to the trust which is created for the SDI transaction. Just for your information, this is a this is a trust managed by a SEBI regulated trustee. The only job of this trust is to manage these cash flows, and every action of this trust is controlled by the SEBI registered trustee. GRIP does not have control over the trust, and if there was to be an unforeseen event, the trustee has the right to liquidate these assets, to recover money for you, and to pay it back. So the responsibility of payment is with VCare, and there is action available at the trust end to help recover your payments to the liquidation of these assets. Okay. The next question outstanding is regarding the IRR calculation. I'm sorry, the gentleman or lady raising the question has not put their name, but sir, ma'am, the IRR for this transaction is 15.5%. If you can share your email with us, I'm very happy to send you a small Excel working, which will give you the workings for this for the transactions. But it's a 15.5% transaction, as mentioned on our website. Yeah. Okay. I would like you to, you can consider both the interest plus principal calculations, and that on a quarterly inflow basis will give you the 15.5% IRR on the transaction. Okay. Great. I think that covers the current set of questions. Maybe one final thing that does come to mind, and ma'am and sir, both of you, I would request you to answer this. As we think about marketing and distribution, and this is a question more coming from our personal experience, it's becoming increasingly challenging to get word out there about your brand. Okay? Increasingly challenging to create awareness. It's a very competitive space. There's a lot of brands competing for the same information. One of the things I've heard from this session that you've done very successfully is around creating that perception around VCare and creating the awareness. Any words of advice, any wisdom to share on what prompted you to go and build in a particular manner and scale the advertising?
So, of course, two things. One is we have learned with the experience. There has been mistakes from our side. A constant analysis, a constant study has always made us correct those problems and travel in a successful path. And the other important thing is, till date, though there are people, though there are branding managers, though there are people at various levels to take care of all these promotions, we still emphasize a lot. We spend a lot of time in selecting the mode and type and the level of investments what we make over this promotional strategies. So on a constant basis, even once in 15 days, we used to review this based on the number of calls what we receive, based on the number of visits what we get, and what is the spend we are doing in generating a lead, what is the spend we are doing in generating a visit. The constant monitoring of this helps us to have a very standardized promotional plan, and I would say that that has also equally contributed to our success. You need to adapt to the strategy requirements. For example, we have been a very core media based company. We've always dependent on the satellite media, spending on major programs, even like Big Boss or Airtel Super Singer or very bigger programs. And over a period of time, we found that the dependency on the satellite media is slowly going down, and we started focusing more on the digital media. And even we have made a lot of policy decisions. Instead of spending on the high ticket programs, we started focusing on the second level programs to generate leads at a much economical cost. And all this has happened by the constant monitoring of data and constant decision changing based on those data, nothing else. So I would say that our promotional plan is always a dynamic thing which take changes based on the situations.
Okay, thank you so much. Maybe just to wrap up this session, Ankit, you've been kind enough to share your email address, and I just thought I'll close the loop with you here. So I have just pasted here the returns from this transaction, both the principal and interest, and what it means from a quarterly returns perspective. Assuming you're making the investment today, this is the investment amount, which generates an IRR of 15.5%. this is a calculator that is available for you on the website. You can feel free to download it and also work out the returns based on the investment value. Yeah, I'll also email this to you for your reference. Perfect. Thank you so much, ma'am and sir. This has been incredibly helpful. I think we're all much more educated about the business. I think if I was to summarize the one key takeaway that I had was that as compared to all other brands, both D2C and otherwise, VCare stands out with respect to a combination of the research and development, the ingredients used, the physical presence, and the specialized advice that is available. I think that is something that as a combination is difficult to replace. And the fact that you've been able to expand and establish a monopoly very profitably, strong margins, I think is credit to the quality of investment opportunity that we are able to provide. We're, as I said before, happy to be partners to your business and look forward to further growth opportunities.